Welcome back to Bold of You Say. Welcome back, woke moralists. We got a great show for you. We got a whole slew of gamer news. We got a regular episode with the regular co-host Gavin coming out this weekend. But for now, we got a special guest. We got Azzy_rivals, twitch.tv/Azzy_rivals, twitter.com/Azzy_rivals. We got friend of the show, Jake. I talked to him is what I'm trying to say. Part of it I play up for the character. Part of it it's just me not knowing what to say for the intro and outro. And the fun part of listening is figuring out when it is each thing. We talked about some VR stuff. The Quest Pro was announced. PSVR 2 information came out about it, and it's not backwards compatible with regular PlayStation VR games. That Big sucks. Big Nintendo, release Advance Wars. I know you're listening. Just do it. I don't have the Shia LaBeouf "Just Do It" sound on my soundboard. I should have added it just for that segment. And then we talked about the Mario trailer. Chris Pratt, he's like, "Hey, I'm Mario," and that's the extent of the work that he put in. Oh, he linked the video. This is me when Nintendo.
Do it. Just do it.
Just do it, Nintendo. Anyway, there's timestamps in the description so you can skip around if you want. If you want to skip a certain part, or if you just can't wait to get to a certain part, use it if you want. Can't stop you. Can't make you do it either. So I guess it's up to you. Okay? So figure it out. Make up your mind. Anyway, let's just... Should we jump into it, do you think? I'll let you decide, because you're the guest.
I think that we should jump right into it.
So I don't know if you've been following the stuff, like, in Ukraine, but, like, shit's popping off over there. Like, did you...
I haven't been following it at all.
Yeah, I've been trying not to follow it so much, but I did see, just because it's, like, it's really grim stuff, but I did see there's, like, video of them, like, of Russia, like, sending missiles to, like, civilian areas, like cities and stuff. And, it's really devastating stuff.
Yeah, okay, I think I did see that. And you're not gonna believe me. The way that I saw this, was it was a tweet. I think it was like Brain Dead Bird app.
Oh,
and it was a screenshot of this girl saying, "I'm sorry to all the Ukrainians, but the Ukraine bombings is now my new aesthetic." It's just they and she said they look so pretty.
What?
Yeah. I gotta find it. It's hilarious.
That's amazing.
It's not hilarious for the Ukrainians. It's awful for them, but it's hilarious that someone finds it and aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, no, that's a prime Gen Z moment.
That is.
Like, if 9/11 happened to us, like, we'd be on that, like, making merch day one. Like, the second tower wouldn't even be all the way done falling yet, and, like, people would be memeing on it.
Yes. Yep.
But anyway, yeah, so, like, stuff over there, it's really bad. It's, people are, trying to flee. A lot of them are just trapped there. It's, a war zone. And, there is a slight silver lining to it. There's some good in the bad, because at least we can't play the Advance Wars remake. Nintendo is really doing their part. They're really showing that they take their civic duty seriously.
I mean, like, it doesn't make any sense to me of why they're delaying it. I mean, like, it's not like, Call of Duty or, because the new Call of Duty is coming out soon.
Yeah.
It's not like they're delaying it indefinitely because of the wars in Russia and Ukraine. Also, I sent the tweet and stuff we sent during the podcast, and also it sounded like your Discord notification was coming through.
Oh yeah. Let me turn on Do Not Disturb, because I have, like, multiple outputs running into the mixer, and it's a whole thing. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
It's so bad, dude.
No.
It's
I hate
so bad.
So anyway, for context for what I was saying a second ago, so Advance Wars is a Game Boy Advance game from like 2003, I think.
Around there.
It's like a strategy game, kind of. Look it up if you aren't familiar with it. It's pretty fun. I started playing it. It's like a year ago.
It's like Fire Emblem, but not for
for weebs.
And it's better.
Yeah,
because it's tanks.
Yeah, I really like it. It's fun.
Real men play Advance Wars.
Yeah, it's like pretty easy to pick up actually, and like there is sort of like a pretty high skill ceiling, right? Like there is a lot of strategy to it, especially like in later levels. And like I'm also like still stuck on the last like boss battle. But it's like really easy to pick up and learn. So I suggest checking it out. If you have a Game Boy Advance, if you want to, try to buy a the game legally, I cannot condone piracy.
They're not too expensive for the cartridges. I think last time I saw was around $30 or $40 for a cartridge.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Which ain't too bad. So
yeah.
Here, real quick. Speaking of Game Boy Advance, let me pull it out really quick.
Yeah, and I just want to say I cannot condone going to websites, downloading. Oh, what is that? Is that
it's the e-reader?
Oh, it's the e-reader.
Yeah, GT Games had one of these. Not only did they have this, but they actually had a bunch of cards for it. They also had a bunch in their original packaging too.
That's great. How much was it?
So I got this all like $30.
Wow, not bad.
Yeah, it's that. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, that is really fucking cool. I'm getting that.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy how low the resale value has gotten for that.
Just because nobody gives a shit about it.
Yeah.
Although I give a shit. I want to port the entirety of the shareware Doom to it. You're going to have to scan 666 dot codes.
It's kind of like the Circle Pad Pro, where it's like technically like rare in that like it's not a very common accessory, but there's a reason, because no one gave a shit about it and no one still gives a shit about it.
Let me look up how much a Circle Pad Pro is, because you have me curious now.
I'm going to guess 15 to $20.
A Circle Pad Pro is $25. And then a Circle Pad, this is loose prices, sorry. Complete in box is $33 for both the XL version and the regular version.
Okay.
There's also a version of Resident Evil Revelations released in Europe that had the Circle Pad Pro included. And maybe, is it a limited edition? No, it's just a regular, just Circle Pad Pro.
Okay.
But yeah, like it's not worth like hardly anything.
Yeah, it's like technically rare, but it's obsolete, one, because of the new 3DS, and also two, it's just in so little demand that like no one wants it even for like the retro value.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's all to say, I cannot condone downloading a Game Boy Advance emulator on your computer and downloading the ROM for Advance Wars and Advance Wars 2, which is an incredibly easy thing, and they should really fix that, because it's just incredibly easy to commit piracy, which is a crime, and it is tantamount to theft, quite frankly, and you should be put in prison for this incredibly easy process to do. And, there's guides for it all over the internet, and they really need to like take that down. But anyway, so a remake was announced by Nintendo, like I want to say
almost a year ago.
About a year ago, around the time that I actually like picked up the game. They were like, yeah, we're remaking both of the games for Switch, and that got me interested. It's the graphics are like still the same style, but they're modernized. It was going to be a generally good game. The gameplay is solid and it's updated visually, so it looks really cool. And then I believe it got delayed twice. The first time it was delayed was just because like it wasn't ready. But yeah, it was supposed to come out a long time ago. It wasn't ready. And then the war in Ukraine started. And they were like, because it's insensitive to release a game of this material, we're delaying the game indefinitely. And that's the state that it's in right now. It is indefinitely delayed. Some like Nintendo, not an official Nintendo website, but a website that keeps track of like Nintendo like pre-order and release dates. They have it listed as just TBA 2022. So like in theory, it's supposed to come out soon. Some I guess journalist, a gaming journalist reached out to Nintendo. And they were like, "Hey, is this what's going on here? Because you haven't really said anything." And
Right.
they just said it's delayed, and we'll announce it when it'll come out when it comes out. Okay, is basically what they said.
Right.
So just release it, cowards. Like what? Literally, what are you waiting for?
I saw a comment. I saw a comment. It was basically, like, I understand that they're trying not to be, insensitive or whatsoever, but they're being overly cautious on this.
Yeah, that's kind of how I see it. And that was the general consensus in the replies to this tweet. One that I wanted to link in the show notes, because it just puts it pretty eloquently and pretty succinctly. They said, so the game will come out when there's world peace. So never. It's like,
so never.
Yeah, so fucking never. Okay, here's all that we have to do. Can we just start a grassroots campaign to get this game released? So the first thing we have to do is we have to establish peace in the Middle East and throughout the entire world. We have to end all war. We have to
peace in the Middle East.
We have to write a letter to Superman and be like, "Hey, can you round up all the nukes and put them in a net and throw them at the sun?" Can we get that done, gamers?
Just parry it. Just parry the nuke.
Yeah. Just like dodge it.
Yeah, just don't get hit.
Yeah. But like, yeah, we're gonna get nuked anyway. That's kind of shaping up to be what's happening. So just let us play the game. Let us play Advance Wars. Let us have a weirdly non-escapist form of escapism in this turbulent era. Just release it, cowards. Nintendo, Reggie Fils-Aimé, I know you're listening, and I know you don't work at Nintendo anymore, but like, I know you're listening.
I don't care. I'm
Can
still
you do
reading
something?
your full address out.
Yeah. I'm gonna dox Nintendo's headquarters. Now it is just their public business address, but you gotta cut me some slack. There's only so much I can do, only so much research I can do. So I will be doxing their public address of operations. my demands are clear. Make sure they are met.
Release the game. That is the only thing that you have to do.
Yeah, just release it.
Just do it.
It's probably been done for a long time.
Yeah, it's probably been done for a while.
Yeah, they've just been sitting on it.
Probably they'll probably be like, Advanced Wars 1 and 2, or the next Nintendo Direct, they'll be like, Advanced Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp releases next week.
Yeah. I wish they would do that. I wish they would be like, hey, it's coming out now. You can buy it now.
It won't come out now because there are physical copies of the game. That's why.
Yeah.
So they have to give a heads up to retailers saying, hey, we're releasing this game next week.
Yeah, I just wish that they would put it out. Because, like what are they waiting for? Like, there's never going to be...
I don't know.
Not war going on. And, like, they're just not making money on it. They made the game.
Guys, okay, so here's the strategy. How to stop the war between Ukraine and Russia. what you do is you release the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody's going to be too busy playing the game to fight.
So true.
I know.
So true.
Isn't that a galaxy brain plan?
Yeah. But no, yeah, you brought up earlier, like, they're not delaying Call of Duty because of this. Like,
right. Well, also Activision is Activision, and they don't give a shit. So.
Yeah, they are an actively terrible company, but so is Nintendo. So, like, you know, what are you on your high horse about? But, like, it's like those games are like violent and gory, and it's like, I don't know. It's just it glorifies war in a way that Advance Wars doesn't really. Like, Advance Wars kind of
incredibly
infantilizes
like,
war.
Right, it's incredibly cartoony. It's not realistic in the slightest. So
yeah, it's very like lighthearted. It's kid friendly stuff.
It's not like a kid's gonna have PTSD from an orange tank blowing up a green tank.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone's like, if they do release Advance Wars, I won't say no one will have this reaction, but I don't think it'll be like a widespread reaction for people to be like, well, this is really insensitive and you really should have just delayed this indefinitely and just canceled the game. Like, no one's gonna mind that this game that already
there's
exists. There's
gonna be a couple people, but
yeah, there's a couple people that will say anything. Like, if an objectively good thing happens, there's always going to be like two people that are like, this is really insensitive.
Right.
Like, you can't forgive student loans because I had to pay a bunch of money, so everyone should suffer. Like, there's always going to be just don't let the haters get you down, Nintendo.
Yeah, I never understood that argument. It's like, I had to pay money and suffer, so that means you have to pay money and suffer. No. No. Yeah,
and you know, there's a certain way that they word it normally where it's like, you know, everyone else is, so it's only fair that, you know, it doesn't whatever. But there was one reporter that questioned Joe Biden about it, and he was like, is it fair that like something people paid a bunch of money and now these people don't have to? Like, just the way that he worded it in that specific moment really kind of gave the game away because of the way that he said it. Like, and now other people won't have to do this.
Yeah, well, the thing is college already costs so freaking much that it's not going to cover all their student loans. It's only going to cover a little bit. Yeah. And if you think about it, shit ass, you paid a lot less for college than what people are paying for now.
Yeah. It is going to like completely wipe out some people's loans, but a lot of people like
good.
If you're like, which is good. That's a good thing. Now, if you're going to criticize it, you could criticize it for not going far enough, because there's some people that are like multiple, you know, tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. And the amount of interest that they accrue every month makes it more and more insurmountable to ever pay it off.
Yeah. So, okay. So, you know what the one thing that really pisses me off about colleges?
What?
So I went to NMC. Pretty decent college. I got my degree. I don't care. I'm earning more money. I don't care. I was one of the lucky few that was able to get a lot of scholarships, so I didn't have to pay for my college. I was incredibly lucky, incredibly lucky, and I'll forever be grateful for that. I know that there are some people who are not very fortunate to be able to go to even a college like NMC. Cam, for example, he had to take out, you know, student loans in order to even go to NMC. Where was I? Oh, yes, okay. I was like, where was I going with this? So NMC will send out, or any college will send out, you know, a letter saying, it's like, oh, this person so-and-so isn't able to go to college or something. Would you like to donate? No. Piss off. I already gave you my money. You're a multi-billion-dollar, like, industry. You have money to... You just lower the tuition rates.
Yeah, especially like the bigger universities like U of M, which Haley goes to. Their money makes money. Like, they're that big.
Yes.
They own the city of Ann Arbor. Like, half of like especially downtown, like it's all university, like campus and downtown Ann Arbor are the same place. But like even like just broadly, the city of Ann Arbor, it's largely just the University of Michigan.
Gotcha.
So like they could afford, to make it cheaper to go there. Like their money makes money.
But no, they don't. Yeah, they don't care. They just care about the bottom line. That's all they give a shit about. They don't care. They don't care about making people better. They just care about the bottom line.
Yeah, yeah, and the issue is like something like education. Same with healthcare and all these other like essential things. Like they're like inelastic goods basically. So like they're always going to be in demand. So if you have an institution that is working within the capitalist framework where they are mainly looking to make a profit, like that's what's going to happen. They're just going to look to only make money off of you.
Yep.
That's why, something as vital to our society as education shouldn't be run by, people that are incentivized to be greedy.
Yes, exactly. I love how off the rails this really got. We started talking about...
And so that's why Nintendo really should release Advance Wars.
Advance Wars Reboot Camp.
Now, the last thing that I'll say about my capitalism rant is I was talking to someone at work a couple days ago, and they read, okay, they read theory and stuff. They read Thomas Paine, and apparently, like, well, this guy was saying, like, people only focus on the first book that Thomas Paine wrote, about like the invisible hand and all that, the book that like establishes the lore for capitalism, right? Apparently, and I didn't know about this, he wrote a second book that was like, no, guys, you're supposed to be nice about it, though.
Gotcha.
And I guess, I don't know a lot of the details, but from what I have heard, this second book lays out like the ethics and how you're supposed to like look out for your community, and, you're supposed to be philanthropic, and you're supposed to facilitate, healthy competition. But that's
responded to his Twitter post before Twitter was a thing.
Yeah, he was like, and here's a thread on why. Yeah, just like be nice about it.
Here's my twit longer.
Yeah,
aka my book.
But yeah, like that's one of the inherent contradictions to capitalism. How are you supposed to look out for your community, but also have your prime directive to be leech as much money off of the community as you can? Like, those two things don't really mix that well. And I just think it's hilarious that, like, I don't know, like, think of it with any other ideology. If, like, the person that wrote this heavily flawed, ideological, system, right? Like, you point all these flaws with it, and you see it's not going very well. And then they're just like, no, but you're supposed to be nice about it. And that's why the system works, actually. Like, yeah, I mean, fascism works if you're nice about it. Like, anything will work if you're nice about it. Anything will
work if you're nice about it. I mean, Hitler did it, so...
Yeah. Yeah, if only we could only have the part of fascism where the trains run on time. But, human nature gets in the way. That's what people say about capitalism. Like, yeah, it would work, except human nature gets in the way and people get greedy. And it's like, my brother, like, capitalism is about making profit, which is codified greed. Like, that's just what it is. So I think it's just funny that the guy who wrote the book on this heavily flawed system is like, but no, but like, if you're nice about it, if you're good to your neighbor, it's okay to make exorbitant amounts of profit off of them. So anyway, let's get to the next thing. Do you want to do the Quest Pro announcement or PSVR 2?
Really quick here. So I just booted up Steam. Apparently there's also they just updated the Steam mobile app. I'm not too sure what's new in it, but it looks like you can like download games to your PC, or you can monitor downloads. Okay, here we go.
I thought you were able to do that already.
No. Okay, so we have we have it like Discord. You have a QR code sign in now.
That's good.
Let's see here. 2-factor authentication. Let's see here. Okay, yes, remote download of games and updates on your PC managed from your phone.
That's pretty good.
Pretty cool. Improved Steam Store, trade and market confirmation, customizable tabs, support for using multiple Steam accounts in the app.
Ooh, that's
Very
good.
cool, Valve. Good shit.
Good guy, Valve.
Good guy, Valve. Valve's always a good guy. Okay, so what did you say? I apologize.
Yeah, I was just asking which thing you wanted to get to next, the PSVR 2 not being backwards compatible, or the Quest Pro announcement.
Let's start with the PSVR 2.
Okay. So yeah, it was announced a little while ago that PlayStation VR is getting a sequel, PSVR 2. I know, very creative name, very innovative. And there's a lot of excitement over it because the headset is good. It has a good resolution. I think it has OLED displays, right?
I'd have to look at it, but I do know that it does use inside-out tracking now instead of
that's another upgrade.
The camera.
Yeah, because the first PSVR kind of just had to repurpose a bunch of PlayStation 3 accessories.
Yeah,
the controllers were the PlayStation Move controllers, which were basically just rip-offs of the Wii remote. And it used the PlayStation camera, which I think was used for a couple of things. I don't know, just off the top of my head, maybe it was used for Just Dance. I think it was used for voice or video chat. But yeah, they had to repurpose these old accessories.
I do have some more info about the display. Not only are they OLED, but they're 4K and it's HDR 120 FPS.
Yeah. So an amazingly updated display. So it's double the resolution. The first model was 1080p.
It's 12,000 by 2,400 in each eye.
Yeah, that's really good. Especially compared to the last model.
110 field of view, and it has eye tracking too.
Yeah. So huge upgrade.
Headset feedback. Oh, apparently the headset has vibration motors in it.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I'm excited to see how that pans out.
Oh, okay. Single cable connection.
Yeah,
plug it
uses
straight to the PS5.
Single USB-C cable, kind of like the Quest 2.
That's really cool, actually.
Yeah, the old one had a breakaway box that had 3 cables. And I think I don't think the original PlayStation VR supported 3D 3-dimensional tracking. You couldn't turn around. You couldn't have your back facing the camera. And
you could.
Oh, you could?
Yes. Yep. There just wasn't any room scale VR.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's it was very limited with the tracking because I had to use the camera and stuff. The second one, PSVR 2, is built from the ground up with modern VR in mind. It has upgraded controllers that are designed specifically for VR.
Which they have the adaptive triggers from the PS5.
Yeah.
Which you tried the adaptive triggers, right?
Yeah, I don't think the effect was that strong.
House.
Yeah, I was playing Spider-Man on your PlayStation 5.
Right. Spider-Man is kind of meh with the adaptive triggers.
Yeah, I think it's a lot more subtle than other things.
Yeah, it was a lot more subtle, but it's still really, really cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool stuff. So yeah, that's all to say. It's a huge upgrade going from the original PlayStation VR to PlayStation VR 2. Sorry, you had a surprised look on your face.
Okay, yeah, okay. So my bad. So for some reason, so I'm on the tab for the PSVR 2. I got it mixed up. I thought this was about the headset, and it said battery built-in lithium ion. I was like, holy shit, is this gonna be wireless? But no, it was for the controllers, not the headset. That would be really impressive, considering remote play is kind of meh.
Yeah, that would be nice. Wireless VR is an amazing luxury, and I'll talk a little bit more about it later. But yeah, as an aside, I hope that the PSVR 2 headset is compatible with PC VR. That would be amazing, because it just uses a USB-C cable. As long as you can use at least most of the features, if eye tracking doesn't work, that's something that the average player can live without. But as long as you can look around and flail your arms around and everything tracks, then I think that that should be fine. As long as I can play Beat Saber.
I doubt that they're probably gonna port it to PC, but I'm sure as soon as it comes out, people are gonna be trying to get that thing to work on PC, just like how they did the first PSVR.
Yeah, I don't expect Sony to like official
drivers.
Yeah, I don't expect official support for it, but I don't know anything about like that side of things, but it can't be that hard. And I'm really out of my depths on this, but I don't know how hard it would be to write drivers for PC VR support, like for Steam VR to recognize the headset.
So Valve, being the Giga Chad that they are, so stuff like God, what the hell is it called? The Quest 2 and like the Rift S.
Mm-hmm.
Oculus didn't work with them at all to get all that support working. That was all Valve's doing.
Wow. Yeah,
yes.
So yeah, it'll probably be a similar story with the PSVR 2 then.
Yeah, possibly. I'm not sure.
Yeah, possibly. It's all, speculation at this point. I don't PSVR, when is it being released?
It says on the website coming early 2023. So next year for sure, it looks like.
Yeah. But yeah, the main thing that I wanted to talk about with this is that it's not compatible with like first generation PSVR games.
Yeah, and there's I was really hoping that it was backwards compatible, because there's actually some good games and like some exclusives too. You got Fairpoint, Firewall 0 Hour, Hitman 3, Blood and Truth.
I forgot
Resident
Hitman
7.
3 VR is a PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah. And the big one for me is I really wanted to play Astrobot Rescue Mission. Yeah.
The one game that I think I talked about this when it was announced, but Iron Man VR. I had talked about this in the infancy of this podcast about how cool that game looks. And I was like, maybe I'll buy a PSVR for this. And I didn't, because of course not, because it's a waste of money. But it would be nice.
Blow your mind here.
What? Blow my mind.
It was announced for Quest 2.
No,
yesterday.
What? Oh.
Yeah. Yep. It's coming out for Quest.
Hold on. Let me look this up, because I don't believe that you're lying. But yeah, according to Polygon, Iron Man VR coming to Quest 2, developer now part of Oculus Studios. Okay, so it's not like completely lost. That's good.
Yes.
I mean, would it be nice if it came to Steam VR? Yeah. Is it better that it's at least coming to Oculus or Meta?
The thing is, though, I mean, you could still have it technically on Steam VR. You just buy it through the Oculus store, and then you just put on your Valve Index and run it through. I think it was called like I don't know, Viveport. Viveport. You run it through Viveport.
Yeah. Yeah, there are workarounds for it. It would be nice if it had an official, Steam VR release, but I wouldn't turn my nose up at this. It's still cool.
Yep. It's still Iron Man. So
yeah, that's the one game that I would consider buying PSVR for.
Mm-hmm. That was the one thing that I mentioned that I told you I wasn't gonna tell you until the podcast. That was the one thing, was that was coming to Oculus 2.
That's great. Hold on, when is it? I closed the article. Let me get it. Where is it? When is it coming out? Hey Jarvis, when is Iron Man coming out?
November 3rd. So next month, less than a month away.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. And that's like the day before the new Sonic game comes out.
Yeah, right? That's right. Hold on.
I'm gonna have a choice to make. Do I want to play new? Well, hold on. Are you buying
I'm
Sonic?
buying it day one. I'm buying it day one.
Okay,
yes,
I'll just use your family share thing, because I still have it on my computer.
Feel free to use it. Yes, I'm absolutely buying Sonic Frontiers. Have you seen some of the trailers for it?
A little bit. Yeah, it looks cool.
I am hyped. It looks really good.
Yeah.
And the thing is, so I mentioned this on my podcast.
Oh really? What's it called?
It's called Drink and Frag. We talk about card games and video games, and typically have to, have some sort of a nice drink to go along with it.
That's incredible. Have you had any cool guests on the show?
Yeah, I think there's this guy named Alex Myers. I don't know.
Holy shit, that's me.
Whoa, really?
Yo, undercover boss moment. I pull off my face and it's another of my face.
Okay, so I mentioned this on my podcast, but at Tokyo Game Show, they showed that Sonic Frontiers was running on the Steam Deck.
Yeah,
so
I think I saw something about that.
Yeah, so it may come out verified. The only thing is that they show it as, or they show that it's going to have Denuvo anti-cheat. And I know that Denuvo hates Linux. So it's going to be interesting of whether it's going to release with no Linux support and then they're going to patch Denuvo out, or they're going to launch it with, or they're going to launch, or they're going to have some sort of compatible version of Denuvo.
Yeah. Well, my question about it is, so like, do they use anti-cheat just to stop people from like cheating in online games, or do they use it also as like a piracy measure?
I think it's primarily for online games.
Okay, because like, isn't this game going to be just a single player game?
Denuvo is an anti-cheat. It's anti-tamper software, anti-piracy software. Yeah, you're thinking of something like BattlEye.
Yeah. That's what I thought of when I heard like anti-cheat.
Yeah. By the way, have you seen the recommended specs for Sonic Frontiers?
No, but I have the store page pulled up, and I will.
It's quite a bit higher than Sonic, whatever the last one was. I don't even remember anymore. Sonic Forces.
Yeah, Sonic Forces. That one came out a while ago. Didn't it come out in like? Was it like 2018?
No, it wasn't that recent. I think it was like 2014.
Oh wow.
Sonic.
Well, anyway, the recommended GPU is a 1070, which like, it's a bit older. But yeah, Sonic games aren't normally that graphically demanding. The minimum is a GTX 660, which is pretty old, but
right.
That's to run at 720p low. The 1070 is to run at 1080p high at 60 FPS. So it's not like too demanding for just a normal modern PC release, but it's more demanding than other Sonic games have been.
Okay, so I'm looking at the Sonic Forces page. So it looks like, at least for the graphics card, it looks like actually Sonic Forces was actually a little bit more demanding, because at minimum it required a 750 Ti. So it's interesting that they were able to drop it down to a 660.
Yeah, they must have been able to like optimize it more.
Yeah, yep. Which I'm really, really hoping that they're gonna be able to get this to run good, because okay, I went over this in my podcast a bit, but Sonic Generations runs like dog shit on the Steam Deck.
Yeah, it's playable, I would say, but it's not the best way to play it for sure.
When Chemical Plant Zone Act 2 is dropping down to 15 FPS, I don't count that as playable.
That's fair. Yeah, I haven't played much of it. I played Green Hill, and then I played Bloons, and then I've been playing Bloons ever since.
Yeah, I kept joking with Cam. It's like, you know what? Bloons is like the perfect stress test for the Steam Deck.
It's great. No, Bloons lately, like I was playing it yesterday, and like it was like chugging on my PC, like my desktop PC. Something about it was just like barely keeping up. Now I do play it like with the fast mode enabled, so take what I'm saying with that context.
It's very similar to Risk of Rain 2 in that in the beginning and about through the midway point, of a run or a game, it runs pretty good. But as soon as you start like getting a shit ton of items in Risk of Rain 2 and it starts doing a bunch of effects, it's gonna tank I think I had like a 2-hour run or something going on Risk of Rain 2. I didn't even have to like kill anything because basically at that point everything was just automatically dying from the amount of upgrades that I had. But so I had, I have a Ryzen 5 5600X with at the time I was using a 2060 Super and like 24 gigs of RAM. It was as low as like 10 FPS.
It is amazing that they got that game running on Switch at all.
It is amazing that they got that running on Switch, and it runs at 30 FPS and it drops like all the time. Steam Deck, however, it runs fantastically. I haven't done a full run on it. I just did the first area. But I mean, the first area, it runs really, really well. Runs at 60 FPS with no issues.
Yeah, I tested it too, and it was pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mods are also incredibly easy to get running on that game.
That's good.
Yeah.
So anyway, I wish the PlayStation VR 2 had backwards compatibility. Sony, I know you're also listening. Make it happen. The one game that I was really worried about with it was Iron Man VR. Like if I ever one bought a PS5 and two bought PlayStation VR 2, like I'd be like, I'm gonna play the game that really made me interested in PSVR. But it's coming to Quest, which is good. I was not expecting that.
PogChamp.
Yeah. But like so many PlayStation 4 games are running on PS5.
Right.
Like it's clearly close enough that it doesn't either like games built for PlayStation 4 just can directly run on PlayStation 5, or it's incredibly easy to like translate the code and everything. So like I don't see how it's that much more difficult. Like Sony, according to Sony, like the way that the games are made and structured and everything, it's like so radically different, and it's like next gen how the games are developed for PSVR 2, which like I believe it. Like obviously VR has come a long way, but I don't see where the difficulty is getting old games to run on new hardware.
Yeah, so let me see here. So there are some issues with some games. There was a video put out by Mystic Ryan on YouTube, who is a PlayStation channel. So there are certain games that either have large graphical issues or they'll crash. Here's a quick list of some of the games. We have Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Agents of Mayhem, Uncharted: The Nathan Drake Collection. Yes, that has issues. A Sony published game has issues. I think it's mainly with the first game. It will just randomly crash in the opening scene. Intertwined, Dead Nation, Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris, Sea of Solitude, Until Dawn, Ape Escape 2, Okage, Shadow King, Primal, let's see here, Manhunt 2, The Warriors, Shadow of the Colossus. Yeah, and Shadow of the Colossus has issues.
Okay.
So while a majority of them will run, there are still some that have some issues, which, yeah, it's nice that they got a whole bunch of games running for PS4. PS4 games running on PS5, but I will give Microsoft credit. They don't have, all of their games, or at least their 360 and Xbox original Xbox games on there. But the ones that they do have on there, they work flawlessly, and a majority of the time they have improvements. Yeah,
and that a lot of that is just chalked up to like Xboxes just being computers.
Well, yeah, same with same with PlayStation now. They're basically PlayStation and Xbox are basically the same thing at this point.
Yeah, but good on Microsoft for like committing to backwards compatibility. PlayStation, big old thumbs down.
So let me grab something here. So I'm not even kidding you. So the main reason why I bought myself a Series X was to play this.
Oh, to play Sonic Unleashed for the 360.
Yes. So if you're not aware with this game,
underrated masterpiece.
It actually is really good. At least the daytime stages are.
I think it was my first Sonic game.
Yes, this was my first Sonic game, but I had the Wii version, not the 360 version.
Yeah, I borrowed a friend's copy of the PlayStation 2 version.
Gotcha. So the big thing with Sonic Unleashed is it's a gorgeous game. Very, very, very. I mean, honestly, like I'm sure they could make it. If they made Sonic Unleashed today, it looked like a current gen or a next gen title. It looks so good.
Yeah.
But they pushed it a little too far.
Yeah.
There's a level. It's one of the final. It's one of the final daytime levels for Sonic Unleashed. Jungle Joyride. It drops down to like 10 FPS.
Yikes.
It doesn't matter what version you're playing. Even on the PS3, it drops down. Actually, the PS3 is worse. It drops down even more.
Yeah.
Then they made it backwards compatible for the Xbox One. Now it was at least a stable 30 FPS or somewhat stable 30 FPS. And then they announced it was the last announcement that they made. It's right. It was the last backwards compatibility update that they made, and they said that the three big ones is it was Sonic All Stars Racing Transform, Sonic Generations, and Sonic Unleashed are gonna get like next gen upgrades. Basically, meaning they're gonna have auto HDR, they're gonna be up-res to 4K, and all of them are gonna run at 60 FPS. You can finally, after 2 console generations, you can finally get a locked 60 FPS for a game that came out in 2008.
Yeah, that's incredible. And that's one of like the advantages of playing on PC is like older games, like there's not really generations like when it comes to like PC games. Like there's just games that came out in whatever year and you can just play it on your computer.
Now,
like with consoles have like the drawback of like, you know, this is an N64 game, this is a GameCube game, you know, this is an Xbox game, this is an Xbox 360 game. But yeah, you got to appreciate that Microsoft is like kind of reducing that drawback.
Right, yeah, for sure. Now, with PC gaming, it's like a majority of the time is, you know, yeah, you can just go ahead and play it, but there will be a lot of issues. Star Wars Battlefront, if you have the original disc version, it just won't work. Same thing with, I think you had a copy of BioShock 2. That didn't work. And
yeah, like games for Windows, like there's some like software incompatibilities.
Yeah, it's a lot of software incompatibilities, so mainly like anti-piracy stuff.
Yeah, sometimes like DRM will like be outdated and it won't recognize like newer versions of Windows or whatever.
Right. Yep. So a lot of times, it won't know what to do. I spent probably a good like 4 hours trying to get Ratatouille to run on my PC.
Yeah, and that's what's good about Steam is that like it kind of standardizes all that. Like you don't have to worry about games for Windows and all that.
Yep. No, I did get Ratatouille running on my PC. I tried multiple times to just install it straight from the disk, but no, I had to rip it and then mount it, and it was a whole ordeal. But I got it working, and it runs. I was able to run it at 1440p unlocked frame rate.
Incredible.
Unfortunately,
the way it was meant to be played.
The way it was meant to be played.
The way we were meant to experience Ratatouille.
Yeah, so back to PSVR 2.
Yeah, so anyway, Nintendo really should release Advance Wars. Yeah, so like it's a complicated thing. I don't know a whole lot about game development, so I can't say it should be easy or it shouldn't be easy to port things. But yeah, I don't like the way that Sony approaches backwards compatibility because like they had backwards compatibility with like the PlayStation to PlayStation 2, with the PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 3 with like their first model of the PS3. Then they just kind of gave up on it with the PS4.
They dropped it due to because
it was like a wildly different architecture. Like I understand that.
Yeah,
but I wish that they had the same approach as Microsoft. Yeah,
they mainly dropped it due to pricing. Because Microsoft was kicking their ass. The 360 was like $300.
Yeah, wasn't the PlayStation 3 like $600?
It was like $500-$600. Yeah. So they had to drop that, unfortunately, so they could get it get it down to a price where they can be competitive.
Yeah.
With
Well,
the
wasn't it
360.
because like much like with the Wii, how they just had a like a GameCube like soldered into the Wii, like then they just have like the PlayStation 2 hardware like soldered onto the board of the PlayStation 3.
Yes, that was initially what it was. They did have the emotion engine soldered right to the board.
Yeah.
Eventually, in later models of the FATs that were still backwards compatible, they dropped it and they just did emulation. But then after that, it's just, it's just PS3 and PS1 games from that on, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me considering the older newer generation of the older newer versions of the PS3 could still play the PS2 games, although it was only software emulation.
Yeah. Yeah, and it does take work to get that stuff running. Not a lot of people use it, but I do appreciate the way that Microsoft does it, where they at least go after the more popular games, and they make sure that those are playable on the newer systems.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Sony, they'll just sell you a remastered version of a game that came out 2 years ago.
Yeah. I'll be right back. I got a package at my door, so if you want to go ahead and continue to talk.
Yeah, I'm just gonna play some hold music.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
From Baby Take a
I also
Bow
picked this
to Curly
too.
Top
All the Sonic
and
Free
Heidi.
Riders, nice.
Hell yeah.
America's
I saw the
favorite
GT
little
games for
darling,
$8. I was
Shirley
like,
Temple, has been
okay, that's kinda
entertaining us
funny.
for generations.
I
With
think
your
somebody should
family
do a
and
trap
friends,
remix
bring
of
home the
Animal
magic
Crackers in
of
my
Shirley
soup.
So true. So true. Jake
so
had his
look at
wireless
this-
headphones on. He's been hearing the
Look at this box, dude.
That's great.
It's the Rings of Power box.
Yeah.
Here, we'll do a quick unboxing video.
Awesome.
Jaffa Knif.
That's not a knife. It's cutting it open. It's cutting it open. What is it?
What do you think that's in here? What do you think that's in here?
It's gotta be. What is it? What is it? Come on, what is it? It's my last chance to guess before he opens it. What is it?
What is it?
What is it? I don't know. I don't
right.
see it.
So first things first, we have a cat lamp.
Nice.
So we already Cam and I already have one, but he's like two of them.
That is a good point.
Of them. And I'm just like, okay, fine, I'll fucking order one. And I didn't tell him that I ordered a second one either. So this will be a surprise to him. So yeah, cat lamp. Nice. And then the battery's dead. Oh, it's hard to see, but
for the listeners, it's just a little lamp.
It's a
bulbous
lamp
shape.
It's a
like
lamp
a
that looks like
cartoon
a cat. Yep,
Incredible.
It changes colors too.
Incredible stuff.
Okay. So yeah, we got that. And then we have vitamin D gummies. And then we have anti-fog spray.
Incredible. What an amazing combination.
I know. I got a new router on the way.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I got it on Prime. I got it for like one, I don't know, it was like $130 or something. It's an Asus router, and I'm not even shitting you. It has freaking RGB lights.
Oh, is it one of the like dangerous looking ones
routers
with the spikes on it and everything?
Something like that.
That's great. Is there anything that you were looking for in particular in terms of like features or just the RGB?
No. So we wanted something. So, I was having the issue with this with my Steam Deck. It apparently the Steam Deck really doesn't like Netgear routers. I had to do a bunch of configuration to get my Steam Deck working with my Netgear router, and I'll be honest, connection wise ain't the greatest up here.
Yeah.
So we just wanted something that had, wider range. Wider range, needed to be not Netgear, and Wi-Fi 6.
Yeah.
And those checked it off, and it just so happened that the gamer router was the choice, was the best one. I was gonna buy one last weekend, but I was like, You know what? There's the Prime Day sales coming up next week. So let's go ahead and wait for that instead.
That's great.
A good call.
That's awesome. You'll have to come back and give a full review for your new Wi-Fi router.
The new gamer router. Gouter.
Yes. Anyway, we don't have a lot of time. I do have to pick Haley up from campus around 7. So let's blaze through. Should we do the Quest Pro announcement?
Yeah, we can cover it really quick.
Yeah. So the Quest Pro has been, like, people have known about it for a while.
Right.
Like, there were leaks, and then there was, like, official stuff that was published. But last night, I got an email from Meta. I get their marketing stuff, and it was like, yeah, the Quest Pro is officially announced. And I was, like, high on the couch listening to music, and I was like, thought they already announced it. And then I was like, I'm gonna figure out what's going on here in the morning. Okay, I'm gonna sober up. I'm gonna figure out what the hell is going on here. So yeah, it was I guess officially announced like last night / today that the Quest Pro is out. It was known as Project Cambria, and yeah, it's $1,500. So it's definitely more in like the professional market, you know, like all of the like the trailers, if you want to call it that, like the commercials for it that they have. It's all like a bunch of professional millennials sitting around, and they're like, hey, I think this 3D model is good, and should we run this with our marketing that we do for our job? And they're like, I concur that this 3D model that we're all looking at is cool. Like that's the general vibe of it.
Yeah, yep. And so I watched Thrill's video on the whole announcement for everything, just in general. But there was like hardly any games announced. It was mainly just corporate stuff or like enterprise stuff. And the hilarious thing about this, I think Meta stock dropped like 5% after they announced this.
Good. Fuck them.
Yes.
No, I think it's really weird the direction that they've taken it. Because like Oculus was like a gaming brand. Like that was pretty much exclusively what they did. They made VR headsets and they had VR games. It wasn't really in anyone's head that you could use this stuff for work. But you know, it's progressed more in a direction where you can do certain work-related things in VR. But Meta's really trying to like push that. They're really trying to push the whole like metaverse as like a social platform thing, and 2, like the metaverse as like a business medium, basically. Like they're really pushing games to the side.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's the main market.
I think it's going to hurt them in the end, really. Yeah,
they're trying to invent their own target demographic.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, and like I don't know if this it's not meant as a gaming headset, but I don't really see it being used for gaming very much. Because anyone that's interested in VR for gaming, if they have $1,500 to spend on a headset, they're probably going to go for like a Valve Index or the Deckard if that ever comes out.
Yeah, yep. So I'm sure you didn't see this, but this was like plastered about it all online. Do you know what the battery life for this thing is?
Oh, it's probably going to be like 20 minutes.
It's about 1 to 2 hours.
Yeah. So that's like, that's even less than the Quest 2, which already has a pretty short battery life.
Yeah.
And, you know, it makes sense. It's doing more stuff. It has like a pretty heavy focus on AR, which you know, that takes a lot of power to do. It's supposed to be a comfy headset, though. It has pancake lenses, so it's really thin.
Really thin, really high resolution. I think it's supposed to be like 4 times the resolution as a Quest 2.
Yeah, it's pretty good in that department. I just wish that they would release something kind of like what I want is like the Switch Lite to the Quest 2's Switch, if you will.
they're basically pulling an HTC. If you remember how
they really
fucked
like
up a
shifted.
whole lot. Yeah, they really messed up like a whole bunch, like 4 years ago or so.
Yeah, they had the Vive, which was pretty popular. It was
Yes, yeah,
like
and
that, and the original Rift were like the headsets.
the main. Yeah, it was the Sega and the Nintendo of VR headsets.
Yeah, and then they released like a couple models of like way more expensive headsets, right? Like they had like the Vive Pro.
They released the Vive Pro, yep. And they didn't release anything else for a while. And then they released the Vive Cosmos, which bombed horribly.
Yeah. Weren't they both like really expensive?
Yeah, so I think the Vive Cosmos was like $800. Which didn't make any sense when you can just buy like a Rift S for $400. And
I was going to say the Rift S was way more competitively priced.
It was, but I'll be honest, the Rift S sucked ass. It was such a shit headset.
Yeah, I know you had a pretty bad experience with it, like especially with like the software. I had a decent experience with it. I didn't really have any major complaints with it, but yeah, I mean, for all its issues, you know, it's you can at least give it that it's like competitively priced. You know, especially when the competition is like double the price. Right, yeah. And then you have Valve with their headset, the Valve Index, which is like good shit. Very good shit. Yeah, it's like $1,000, but you get what you pay for. It's $1,000, but keep in mind, 2 years ago there was nothing like it on the market. Yeah. It's base edition 2.0. You got, let's see here. You have these. I'm pretty sure you remember using these speakers. These speakers are fucking amazing. They are pretty good. Yeah, they're really good. You have a pretty good field of view. I think it was like one of the first few headsets that had 144 hertz. Yeah, you got the Knuckles controllers, which are, you know, finger tracking and everything, and you get Half-Life Alyx with it. Yeah. So you know, it's a good package. It's a very good package. Yeah, I haven't really seen anything like this, but I wish that some company, whether it's Valve or Meta or HTC, I wish that there was some kind of like Switch Lite-esque headset, right? Where it's like, I mean, they had the Go. Yeah, I mean, that's the Oculus Go. Yeah, that was more of like a media consumption kind of thing. What I want is just like a wireless headset with like a decent resolution that doesn't, you know, it doesn't have to be like standalone, right? But I would like to wirelessly connect it for PC VR. Right. Yep. Like the Quest 2 is already pretty cheap. But like, imagine if you took out all of the like expensive like processors and stuff and just had it focus on wireless streaming. Something like that would be incredible, and that's like my dream headset. You know, you could price it like pretty low because you don't have to like cram a bunch of stuff into it. But if you can just like condense like the basic package into one like, you know, cheap thing, especially if you already have a computer, like yeah. Like I mainly do PC VR. Like I don't do a lot of standalone Quest games unless it's Quest exclusive. Like Super Hot VR, I bought that on Quest and it doesn't like have cross-buy support, so I can't install it on my PC and play it like that. Gotcha. The Star Wars game, the Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, that's Quest exclusive, so I have to play it standalone. It got released on. Oh yeah, it got a PlayStation. It got a PlayStation release, which they're also. Have you played Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, or has that even come out yet? Yeah, it came out like a year ago. Oh, gotcha. I think like over a year ago. Gotcha, but they're making an enhanced edition for PS5. Yeah, and I saw that. It's good stuff. Yeah. It's a good game. But yeah, it was a Quest exclusive for a while, so that's how I played it, of course. But I mostly just play in one room. Sometimes I go to the living room. Excuse me. If I could just have the PC streaming capability in like a cheap, you know, headset that's specially designed for that, that'd be good. That's just I guess just a wish list kind of thing. Oh, I know that a lot of the times you'll message me like, hey, you want to play Walkabout? And I'll say no. A majority of the time, it's either I'm too tired
or this room is so much more cramped than my bedroom that I'm worried that I'm going to hit a wall.
Yeah.
So that's why you see Cam on VR all the time, a good majority of the time, because he's downstairs and he has a bigger play area. Yeah, he's near
he's
TV.
set up like in the living room.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's near a TV, but I mean, he can punch the TV and we can replace that. We can't really punch a wall and have that replaced.
Yeah, that is pretty true. That is, some would say that, I think.
So that's why I haven't been playing VR. So unfortunately, it's just been gathering dust. Part of me wants to sell, but I'm like, the moment that I sell it, I'm going to instantly regret it. I know it.
Yeah.
Especially because I have the VR rubber
cover
gasket. Yeah, the VR cover. Which now that they're owned by Oculus, they don't even make VR covers for any other company now.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, like if you go on their website, they I'm pretty sure they have nothing else besides Oculus stuff.
Aren't monopolies so cool?
I really hope that really hoping that they go under.
Yeah, either go under or get broken up. Like either way, like they can't just own everything.
I know, I don't want to subscribe to your stupid shit. Let me see here.
Yeah, you tell them.
Oculus Quest 2. Okay, looks like they have one for the HP Reverb G2. Quest 2.
Yeah, the
Quest
Reverb
2.
that's probably just because like they had
Reverb
a pre-existing
G2.
like contract or something.
Universal.
Or maybe it just sold well enough that they justified it. I don't know.
Reverb G2, Quest 2. Yeah, that's all they have now is Quest 2 and Reverb G2, which honestly, to be fair, both the Index and the Reverb G2 use the same gasket anyhow. So I'm pretty sure they're interchangeable.
Okay, well that's not so bad.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we have time to get to the Mario trailer. Steam Deck stuff, probably not.
Yeah, that's fine. We can talk about that like next week or next time I'm on.
Yeah. So the Super Mario Bros. Trailer came out. The long-awaited debut of Chris Pratt's Mario. You know, it was built up a lot. He was like, my Mario voice is like nothing you've ever seen before.
Me, Mario.
Yeah, and then the trailer starts and Mario comes onto the screen and it sounds like
it was Bowser. It was Bowser that came on first.
Yeah. And then Mario comes on screen and it's just Chris Pratt's voice.
It's just Chris Pratt with a slight New York accent.
Yeah, he's doing, hey, I'm walking here. I'm Mario. Hey, what the fuck you doing? It's just so funny. Like, it wouldn't be so bad if there wasn't that build up. Like, yeah, this is my Mario voice is like nothing you've ever seen before, and it's just the same voice that he uses. Yeah, it's just you could interchange his dialogue with his dialogue from the Lego Movie, and it would sound the same.
Or even Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, yeah. Hey Bowser, let's do a dance off.
So one thing that I did see on Twitter is actually some of the voice actors for the other characters are saying like, okay, yeah, why the fuck did Charles Martinet not be Mario in this movie? And a lot of them were kind of pissed off about it too. I think it was the voice for Peach. I don't remember her name now, but she was pretty pissed off about it.
Yeah, I would be too. Yeah, like Hollywood, especially with movies like this, like the big big ticket animated movies, they like to just pad out the cast list with like big name screen actors. I know that this movie and the Sonic movie and Sonic 2 are gonna get compared a lot, but I'm gonna give Sonic 2 a big thumbs up because they used the original voice actor for Tails in Sonic 2. That is pretty good.
They used the voice actor from the games and the TV shows. They didn't get a celebrity to do it.
Yeah, you got to respect that.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, and the one like recast that they did do, besides Sonic himself, having Knuckles voiced by Idris Elba, That's
He
definitely worth it. That was
Yeah,
worth it.
He did good. He did good.
His performance went hard.
Yes.
That whole movie went incredibly hard.
Speaking of things going hard, Jack Black as Bowser was really good.
That was impressive.
He was really good. Yeah. Same with Keegan-Michael Key as Toad.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Toad only had like one line. And he was like, "Hey, Mario, what's up? Hey, what's going on?"
Well, he kind of did like the scream, like, "No, don't touch those mushrooms, you'll die." But when he voice acted it, he had like that same like high pitched like Toad voice.
Yeah,
which was impressive.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Jack Black. I from the moment he was announced, I was like, that's a good choice. I think
it's gonna be really interesting to see Seth Rogen as Donkey
I was just gonna say, same with Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. Yeah, Stoner Donkey Kong. It fits. It really fits.
It goes hard.
It goes hard. Quite frankly, it goes hard. I hope they cross over. I hope that Chris Pratt as Mario and Ben Schwartz as Sonic, I hope the franchises cross over. The main characters promptly fuck off, and then we get just a nice side story with all the side characters. We get Seth Rogen, Donkey Kong, and then in Idris Elba as Knuckles. They just go out on the town. What did he send?
Speaking of Donkey Kong going
very hard. Very hard. Yeah. Might make that the thumbnail. Who knows?
Please. That'd be great. I love that image so much. Just very hard.
Yeah, I'm saving that.
The movie does release on April 7th, which, crazily enough, the Sonic 2 movie released last year on April 7th, which was also my birthday. So
nice. They did it just for you.
Just for me, yep. They knew I was a big Sonic fan, so they released it there, and they know I'm a pretty good Mario fan, so they released it for that.
Really nice of them.
Yeah, really nice to reach out to their community. One of their top community members.
You've been one of their top fans for years now. It's time you get rewarded for your efforts.
Okay, so I forgot about this. So after they announced the trailer or whatever, they had like an interview with like or they had all the voice actors speak for a little bit, and oh gosh, what was Chris Pratt? He's like, "Yeah, I've been playing Mario Bros for a long time. I remember playing Mario when I was a young kid, stomping all those Koopas." Like he says it like it's a slur.
I saw that.
I think he was gonna say Goomba, but I think Goomba was actually a slur.
I believe that is an actual like Italian slur. Yeah.
Yes. But it's funny how the pause and then really loud and rapid, just Koopas.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I love stomping on those, and he looks around, make sure the coast is clear. Koopas. Yeah, like I think I saw that clip too, and the way that I read it was like he forgot what the bad guys were called. Like, hey, I love stomping on the the fucking the turtles. But yeah, speaking of slurs, I wish that Hollywood would stop casting white actors to play POC roles. Okay, can we get a real Italian in here?
I was gonna ask what the hell do you mean by that?
Yeah.
It's like, bro, I think you're gonna get canceled. Hold on a minute.
Chris Pratt as Mario is exactly the same as Scarlett Johansson in Ghost in the Shell. It's the exact same situation.
I've never watched that movie.
The clip.
Yeah, I sent the clip.
Growing up, man, I spent hours of my life stomping Koopas.
Just the way that he says Koopas gets me every time, dude.
Yo, Jamie, can we get an instant replay on that?
Growing up, man, I spent hours of my life stomping Koopas.
Koopas.
The way that the side of his mouth says it too, he doesn't just say Koopas, it's like Koopas.
Yeah. Like he knows what he's saying.
Oh, shit.
Oh, that's incredible. All right, we're running out of time. Let's blaze through recommendations of the week. So first of all, Werewolf by Night released, and I had no idea it was out until I saw it was on Disney Plus. I didn't realize leading up to it that it was coming out. I think Marvel announced that it was a thing, and then they promptly said nothing about it. Like they kind of buried this one. So it's basically like a Marvel like Halloween special. It's like an hour long, just straight to Disney Plus. It's good. I think it's well paced. You know, it's good that they didn't try to make it into like a whole like 6-episode mini series or whatever. You know, I think it's a good format for it. It kind of like harkens back to old like monster movies, you know, like Creature from the Black Lagoon, that kind of stuff.
Right. Or my favorite monster movie, Monster House.
Of course, you can't forget Monster House.
I actually, unironically, I think I should watch that when Halloween rolls around.
Yeah, it's a good. It holds up.
I think
watched
it'd be really funny.
Yeah, I watched it. Haley and I watched it when we were camping in the UP, and it's good. It's a good movie. It definitely holds up. But yeah, Werewolf by Night. It's good. It's a nice homage to those old monster movies. It uses color really well. It's like all black and white except for like the Bloodstone, which is like the MacGuffin for the thing. That it glows red. It's a cool contrast with the black and white visuals. The characters are cool. It's a nice, you know, sort of campy, you know, Halloween special that happens to be set in the MCU. It's good. Then my other recommendation, Walkabout Mini Golf, which we mentioned briefly earlier. It's the VR mini golf game that I've talked about a lot of times on the show. They put out a new course based on 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne. And it's a good course. The visuals are incredible. The gameplay, like the golf course itself, is fun as always, and it's really cool. It takes place on the I think the ship is called the Nautilus. Could be wrong about that, but it takes place on the like submarine ship thing from the book. And it's good. It's only $3. All the DLC courses are $3, and you get the main like map. Then you get like the harder nighttime version of it, and it's good. It's good stuff. And Jake, you have a couple?
Yeah. So really quick about Walkabout. Walkabout's really good. It's $15. Buy it right now.
It's well worth the money.
It's well worth the money. The only issue that I'm having with it right now is I feel like they're gonna pull a Sims 4 on it. Because as of now, the DLC costs more than the game. All the DLC costs more than the game.
Yeah, I think, people were asking about some kind of like season pass thing.
Yeah, season pass or some sort of bundle.
Yeah, and from what I remember the devs saying, there was some kind of issue because like they couldn't really sell like a season pass because they didn't have all of the DLC released yet, and it would complicate everything. But yeah, hopefully they can do. You know, I know they're doing like the Lost Cities series, and they're doing. I think this is the first of like a series of courses based on Jules Verne novels. So they could do like a Jules Verne collection. You know, once they like get these, wrapped up in a bundleable kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hopefully they can sell like season pass kind of things.
Right, yeah, yep. Or just wait for the definitive edition to come out with all the DLC.
Yeah. But I mean it's still I would still say it's worth the money.
It's still fun. It's
$15 for the base game, which already has like I don't know, like 9
like
courses,
7 courses, or something like that. Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
It's a good game. It's well worth it.
Yeah, even just the base game is worth the money. And you can buy the rest of the DLC courses like individually if you want. Yeah, the base game is $15. I'm looking on Steam right now. All of the DLC added together is $18, but I mean, still, that's less than $35, which is still pretty good for what you're getting. And I fully endorse Walkabout Mini Golf.
Yep, buy the game, support the devs, do it. Yeah. It's a fantastic game.
It's just good. This actually, I haven't used the sound pads this episode. This is how I feel about it.
Guess what? It grows the economy.
It does.
Benefits
it does grow
everybody.
The economy.
Hurts nobody.
And if you don't play Walkabout Mini Golf, then
I'm gonna blow up the city.
And if you do play Walkabout Mini Golf,
I'm gonna come.
I love that clip too. It's so good.
Oh.
Don't come. I'm gonna come.
I didn't expect the at the end of that. So when I was at my parents' house, real quick here, when I was at my parents' house, my mom's two favorite games to play were Beat Saber and Walkabout. So if I think that says a lot. If my mom really enjoys playing a game, which she doesn't like hardly play any games at all.
Certified boomer.
Yeah. Yeah. But she's not completely brain dead when it comes to technology. She's actually pretty smart with technology.
That's cool. I envy that.
Yeah.
I still have to I still have to teach my mom how to use Google Maps.
I think at one point I had to teach my dad how to use a microwave. Not even kidding.
Like, I know there's more to the story. There's gotta be, but I'm just imagining he's like bewildered by this crazy invention that's been out since before he was born, probably. Or I don't know, they came out in the 70s or something. I don't know. But he's bewildered by this invention before him, right? And you're just like, so you push the button.
Well, no, so here, I'll explain it really quick, because it's almost 7, and I think you're supposed to pick her up at 7, right?
Yeah, we need to wrap this up in a couple minutes.
Okay.
I am very curious about this story now.
Yes, okay, so our old microwave had just died, and we got a brand new one. My mom and I figured out how to use it. My dad didn't know how to use it. He was just randomly pressing buttons trying to get it to work. I'll be honest, microwaves of all varieties have really weird ways to, start them up, so I don't blame him for that, but I just thought it was really funny.
Yeah, some of them you just push the number and it goes for that number of minutes. Some you got to push.
Sometimes you need to
button.
push like the time cook and then put it in and then press enter. But yeah, okay, so I'll go over mine really quick. Cyberpunk Edgerunners, really, really good anime. It's really bloody and gory, however, and it has a lot of sexual themes, but it's very, very good.
Nice.
Story is fantastic. There are titties, so viewers be advised. And then my other recommendation is this guy, the Steam Deck. Get one of these things. These things are awesome. There's so much you can do with them, and we didn't cover it in this episode, but I can cover it really quick. Just recently, they announced the Steam Dock, or the Steam Deck, or Steam Deck Dock. Holy shit! So you can dock it up to your PC.
It's a tongue twister.
Yeah, it is a tongue twister, but you can buy it for $90. People are, be like, oh man, about the price. Who cares? It's officially licensed. A majority of other docks are around the same price. It has 3 USB 3.1 ports, HDMI, USB display port, USB-C power, and has Ethernet. Steam Deck got a beta update where people can put in custom boot videos. For a while now, people did those. For a while now, people did those and posted them on Reddit, but unfortunately, it would overwrite the current default boot video. But now you can do that without overwriting it. And you can buy a Steam Deck right now. You don't have to wait any sort of reservation. You don't have to wait the year like Alex did. You don't have to wait the 3 months, 4 months like I did. You can just go on Steam and you can buy it now.
Yeah, and you don't have to buy from a scalper if you want it immediately.
Yeah, scalpers are crying right now. They're
good.
They're malding. They're malding.
Fuck 'em.
Absolutely. And
anyway, I think that's the show then. Thank you, everyone, for listening to another episode of Bold of You to Say. Because you listened, this is my reaction.
I'm gonna come.
That's me when you listen to another episode of What Are You to Say. If you liked it, then like it and subscribe if you want to do that. Our clips channel is in the description. I'm trying to upload more there. Subscribe, share them around, tweet them, play clips out loud at work. Get everyone hooked. Follow me on social media. Don't follow Gavin, but you don't got to worry about it because he's not even here this week. Follow Jake on social media. He's on Twitch, twitch.tv/ASI_rivals, and on whatever else he's on, link in description.
I'm on Twitter. Twitter and Instagram both are ASI_rivals. Everything's uniform. That's what's nice when you have really weird usernames.
Yeah.
Alex, could you end the show off with this?
Oh yeah, what is it? When you at the from Gianni Matrigano. Yeah, I'll play that when I'm done with my thing. I'm publishing on the show on YouTube now, so leave a comment if you want. If you like something we said, tell us. If you didn't, fucking keep it to yourself, okay?
I have a suggestion for you, Alex.
Yeah.
I think you should start recording the cameras, so there's an actual video to go along with it.
Yeah, here's the thing. That would be more work. That's understandable. That's understandable. Yeah, maybe someday. I don't know. And I think that's all I got. So good night, and I will leave you with this. What is this?
When he at the...
And that's me when I. And I'll leave you with this.
Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels
who. Love that clip so much.